The moment you vanish without a fight, without a final speech, without even slamming the door, she feels the planet tilt. It is not the drama she expected, it is the hush afterwards that bruises. In that hush, she discovers the first law of emotional physics. The space you occupied was far larger than your body. Your old good morning text arrives in her muscle memory at 7:02, then again at 7:03, and when the screen stays dark, the silence is suddenly a new language she cannot translate. She scrolls back 18 months of chat to check if she hallucinated your devotion, and every blue bubble she once ignored now glows like evidence at a crime scene. The coffee machine gurgles the same, the neighbor's dog barks at the same cyclist, yet the ritual feels counterfeit because the witness is missing. This is the shock stage, raw, cinematic, soundtracked by her own pulse, where the mind replays the last ordinary moment, hunting for the glitch that foretold the apocalypse. She promises herself it is only a glitch, that you will reappear with your lopsided grin and grocery bag apology. And the promise feels so real she can taste the plastic. But the hours calcify into a day, the day into a week, and the week becomes a monument to the moment the predictable became the prohibited. Emptiness, she learns, has a voice. It sounds like the clack of her heels on tile without your whistle echoing back. It sounds like Netflix asking, "Are you still watching?" when the show was only background for your sarcastic commentary. Psychologists call it loss aversion, but inside her chest it is simpler. A 100 that no future plus 50 can balance. She tries to crowdsource the deficit, drinks with the girls, a treadmill that never arrives at a destination, a rebound who kisses like a question mark. But every substitute is a neon arrow pointing back to the original. At 2:13 a.m., she drafts a text. "I saw a meteor shower tonight and thought of you." She deletes it because meteor showers are for people who still believe in shared wishes, and because admitting she remembers is admitting she forgot when it mattered. The void grows teeth, it nibbles at her stories, her punchlines, her calendar, until Friday is just the day he used to bring cinnamon donuts, and Sunday is the day we never scheduled anything in case we wanted to stay in bed and read drafts of each other. She begins to talk aloud to the absence, entire conversations where she plays both roles, and the echo answers in your cadence, so accurate she wonders if ghosts are only recordings of habits we never copyrighted. This is the emptiness stage. No blood, no screams, just the slow leak of color from scenes that once looked permanent. Curiosity arrives wearing her own face reflected in the black phone screen. She becomes both sleuth and evidence. She memorizes your last seen timestamp, the way a sailor studies a horizon and constructs timelines. Was he online at 3:44 because he met someone at 12? She minds your Spotify. No new playlists, but you repeated that one Phoebe Bridgers song 17 times the night you left. She listens until she can hear the exact second your thumb pressed next, hunting for a confession between the chords. Mutual friends become double agents. She asks how the pickup soccer games are, voice casual as loose change, while her pulse drums Morse code. Is he there? Is he happy? Is he asking about me? Every silence they return is a verdict, and the verdict is a mirror. You are not asking. She scrolls through the girl who liked your last photo, a stranger with a sunflower tattoo, and zooms until the pixels dissolve into paranoia. The Zeigarnik effect unspools inside her like crime scene tape. The human brain hates an open story, so it writes sequels where it is still the protagonist. She rehearses accidental encounters. She will be jogging, earphones in, radiant with indifference. But the fantasy collapses when she realizes she cannot coordinate the light, the weather, the beat of her own heart. This is the curiosity stage, the hour when absence becomes a labyrinth and every turn promises the minotaur of her own regret. Then, one ordinary Tuesday, the notification, "Hey, saw a meme that reminded me of you. Hope life's good." 12 words, no apology, no capital letters, as if the cosmos had shrugged rather than cracked. She holds her breath so long the room dims at the edges. And when she exhales, it sounds like a sob wearing camouflage. Her thumb hovers, autocorrect offering, "I've been..." Before she deletes the contraction, too intimate, then types, "All great here?" and adds a thumbs up emoji that feels like a surrender flag stitched from pixels. She waits 3 hours, 42 minutes before hitting send because timing is the only armor left. And when the message delivers, she watches for typing, the way a diver watches for bubbles. Nothing. The blue tick stays mute, and the meme, a cat in sunglasses, remains the last artifact of a civilization that once spanned continents of inside jokes. She realizes she has handed you a test, and you decline to open the booklet, and the realization is both humiliation and liberation dressed in identical coats. This is the breadcrumb stage, where pride learns to starve gracefully, where the ego sits at an empty table and still insists on napkins. Days later, she deletes the chat, but the screenshot is already burned into her retinas. She will see it behind every future first kiss, a watermark reminding her that attention given too late is indistinguishable from cruelty. Eventually, the storm spends itself. The 9 stages fold into one another like well-read letters returned to their envelope. She wakes one morning, and the first thought is not about you. It is about the meeting at 10, the sour taste of coffee, the crack in the ceiling that looks like a roadmap. The discovery startles her so much she cries, but the tears taste different. Less ocean, more river, moving forward by necessity. She understands now that your silence was never a weapon. It was a boundary she kept mistaking for a door. The lesson calcifies into a quiet alchemy. She will not bargain for affection again, will not mistake accessibility for loyalty, will not audition for a role she already owns in her own story. If you ever reappear, because humans are circular, because cities shrink on festival nights, she will greet you with the calm of someone who has already rebuilt the skyline you once occupied. She will say, "I hope you're well," and mean it, because forgiveness is the difference between a scar and an open wound. But she will not ask for coffee, will not offer updates, will not surrender the new continent she carved from the seismic gap you left. This is the final stage. Not victory, not revenge, but the gentle recognition that some absences are actually presences of something else. Self-respect, choice, the version of her that was always waiting in the wings. And somewhere, maybe, you feel it too. The hush that no longer begs to be filled, the freedom of walking away without needing the last word, the quiet certainty that the story ended exactly where it needed to, at the edge of a period that looks, to anyone still listening, like a door closing softly, final and complete.